Hello everyone, this time we will continue the anime recommendations with a chemistry theme in the previous video. Therefore, here are 5 anime recommendations that discuss chemistry in the story. Here we go. There is an anime that may be a little different from the others, but still very relevant to our chemistry theme, namely Element Hunters. The story of Element Hunters is set in the future, 2029 to be precise. At that time, the Earth experienced a terrible disaster. All the chemical elements that make up matter, from oxygen, hydrogen to heavy metals, begin to disappear from our planet. To solve this crisis, a special team of children called Element Hunters is formed. They have the unique ability to travel back in time exactly 60 years before the disaster occurred, where elements were still abundant in another dimension called Nega Earth. Their main mission is to collect the lost elements from Nega Earth and bring them back to Earth. The anime explicitly introduces various chemical elements from the periodic table. Each episode often focuses on one or two specific elements, explaining their properties, how they are used in everyday life, and what the impact would be if they disappeared. So, if you are looking for an anime that is not only entertaining, but also educational about the basics of elemental chemistry and how important each element is to the survival of life, Element Hunters is a great choice. You'll learn while enjoying a fun adventure. Next, let's enter the world of the imperial court full of intrigue and mystery with the anime The Apothecary Diaries, or Kusuriya no Hitorigoto. The anime follows the story of Maomao, a young girl who is kidnapped and forced to work as a lowly servant in the imperial court. Although she initially works only behind the scenes, her skills as a smart and inquisitive apothecary cannot be hidden. The anime follows the story of Maomao, a young girl who is kidnapped and forced to work as a lowly servant in the imperial court. Although she initially works only behind the scenes, her skills as a smart and inquisitive apothecary cannot be hidden. Maomao has an in-depth knowledge of herbs, poisons, medicines, and the chemical reactions that occur in the body. She often finds herself involved in solving mysterious cases, ranging from strange illnesses among the palace concubines, poisoning attempts, to finding out the causes behind other unnatural occurrences. Every case Maomao solves involves meticulous analysis, often based on chemistry and pharmacy. He doesn't just guess, but uses scientific methods to identify poisons, drug side effects, or even how a substance works. Her keen observational skills and ability to connect the dots make this anime very appealing to mystery fans who are also interested in practical applications of science. Every case Maomao solves involves meticulous analysis, often with a foundation in chemistry and pharmaceutical science. He doesn't just guess, but uses scientific methods to identify poisons, drug side effects, or even how a substance works. Her keen observational skills and ability to connect the dots make this anime very appealing to mystery fans who are also interested in the practical applications of chemistry. If you like detective stories wrapped in knowledge of traditional and modern medicine, as well as palace intrigue, then The Apothecary Diaries is the perfect choice for you. Next, we will move on to an anime that combines romance with a very strict scientific approach, namely Science Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It. The story follows two genius scientists, Ayame Himuro and Shinya Yukimura, who are both attracted to each other. However, since they are true scientists, they cannot simply accept the feeling as love. They decide to use scientific methods to prove whether the love they feel really exists. In each episode, you'll see them conducting a series of funny and quirky experiments, trying to measure different aspects of love from the standpoint of chemistry, biology, and physics. For example, they might try to measure the body's physiological response to being close, analyze hormone levels associated with emotions, or even try to create a mathematical formula to define romance. Although the core of the story is a romantic comedy, the anime intelligently slips in a lot of scientific concepts, especially those related to the chemical and biochemical reactions that take place inside our bodies when we feel emotions. It's a highly entertaining and educational watch for those of you who want to see how science, including chemistry, can be applied even in something as strange as love. Who would have thought that even love can be measured and proven scientifically? If you like smart, laugh-filled romance with a touch of science, this is the anime for you. Next, let's dive into the world of microorganisms invisible to the naked eye, but at the heart of a unique anime called Moyashimon. Moyashimon tells the story of Tadayasu Sawaki, a first-year student at an agricultural university who has an extraordinary ability. He can see and talk to microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, and yeast. To Sawaki, the world is filled with cute and adorable little creatures. Despite its lighthearted and comedic appearance, this anime is very educational and in-depth in explaining the role of microbiology and biochemistry in our daily lives. We'll see how these microorganisms play a role in the fermentation of food and beverages such as sake, soy sauce, cheese, and beer brewing. Each episode often introduces different types of microorganisms and explains their chemical and biological functions. We will learn about fermentation processes, material degradation, and even the role of microbes in human health or agriculture. It shows how chemistry and biology are closely intertwined on a microscopic scale. If you're curious about how these tiny creatures work behind the scenes, or want to understand more about the processes behind your favorite foods and drinks, Moyashimon is an entertaining and highly informative choice. Who knew the world of microbes could be so colorful and play such a big role in our lives? Of course, we can't talk about chemistry-themed anime without mentioning this masterpiece, Full Metal Alchemist. Especially the very popular Brotherhood version, this anime really takes the concept of chemistry to the next level, even if it is wrapped in fantasy. Central to the world of Full Metal Alchemist is alchemy, a science that allows users to manipulate and transform matter. Although fictional, alchemy is heavily based on the principles of chemistry that we are familiar with, especially the law of equivalent exchange. The law of equivalent exchange is the essence of chemistry. It teaches that to get something, we must give up something of equivalent value or mass. This is very similar to the law of conservation of mass in chemistry, where matter cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. Throughout the series, we will see alchemists analyzing the composition of materials, understanding how elements interact, and how molecular structures can be changed. They may not use the periodic table or modern chemical formulas, but their alchemical work demands a deep understanding of chemical composition and the reactions that occur. From the creation of homunculus to the understanding of the human body and inanimate objects, Full Metal Alchemist shows the application of chemistry on a large and epic scale. This is a must-watch for those of you who love action, deep stories, and want to see how scientific concepts can be the basis of superpowers. Those are 5 chemistry-themed anime recommendations that are interesting for you to watch. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe this channel for more interesting content about chemistry and other unique things. See you in the next video.